is the Vintage RPG Podcast, your source for the best in classic and contemporary RPGs. With your hosts, Hambone and Stu.
Welcome to Vintage RPG Podcast, coming at you again from the clubhouse, hidden somewhere in the swamps of New Jersey. I'm John Hambone McGuire, and with me, as always, is the founder and publisher of Unwinnable. If he's up after midnight, he's usually up to no good, Stu Horvath.
You know, I was up past midnight last night, and then I woke up at 7:30, and that little bit, like I'm usually asleep by 11:30, and that little bit has slowed me down appreciably.
You know, the spirit may be 17, but the body is what it is.
Yeah. Tired, Hambo.
So because of the joke, I already forgot the name of the thing we were talking about today. So what are we talking about? Listen, I had to try to, I'm trying to nail that joke in one, but
and look, it's hot, it's humid, like it's summer. We can't be held to the usual high standards.
I've only had one cup so far, and it's 10:20. My God, what is happening, man?
It's difficult in 2025. Summer 2025. Anyway, okay, yeah, we're talking about a brand new thing that I got in the mail yesterday, the day before, direct from jolly old England. It's called Midnight of the Century from Odin's Beard Games, Colin LeSueur. I've been a fan of Colin's work for a while. By Odin's Beard Games has put out a number of Cairn books, which is sort of solo or solo-ish. I mean, you can, if you get the Warden Saga, I think it expands it to, multiplayer party game, but set in sort of the after Ragnarok of the Norse mythology using Cairn, the super light system. And he also did We Deal in Lead, which is sort of very lightweight game about basically being the gunslinger from Stephen King's Gunslinger novels. Also,
hands down, one of the best RPG titles ever.
Oh yeah, we Deal in Lead is the real deal. There'll be there's a bunch of posts on this stuff coming this year. I'm not sure when, but I definitely wrote them for posting on the old vintagerpg.com. Midnight of the Century is Colin's new game. It's funding right now in an open crowdfunding campaign on itch.io, which I think is an interesting thing. You basically let the thing run. It doesn't have an end date, and you never sacrifice your funds. Basically, once it's finished, but like you don't have the time pressure of a traditional crowdfunding campaign. So it's almost finished. And he hit the spot where he sent out these primers, which is actually a really nice, in terms of size. He usually does the small digest size books. This is like a module sized floppy.
Ooh, that's fun.
And it's black and white inside with red annotations and the occasional little bit of color. And it basically is like a very light version of the what the eventual game will be. It allows you to create your characters, the core system. There's a scenario to play through, and there's all sorts of redactions that I'm assuming will be in the main text. But even if they're not, I love it when somebody's taken a black Sharpie to the text ahead of me.
That is kind of awesome, not going to lie.
I have been looking with a magnifying glass trying to see if I could read through it, and I can't. Which I think is testament to the graphic design, where it inspired me to be like, I think I could maybe puzzle this out, and I spent the effort to try and do it, and failed.
Holding it up to lights, like
so. Oh yeah, I could maybe hold it up to the light. Let me see here. No, it's much too nice paper for that to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so but what is it, Stu? What is this game that you've talked about for several minutes now without explaining it? It is something that I did not know I wanted, but really, 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 really wanted for a long, long time. It is a game that is basically Millennium, the TV show, the role-playing game.
What?
So now, I feel like this is extremely niche. Niche.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah. I feel like there's like three people who are really, really happy about this game coming out, like just over the moon. Remember MySpace?
Yeah, sure do.
So when MySpace was big, I think it was like 2007, 2008, maybe even a little earlier. The Millennium DVDs were coming out, and I was picking them up as they came out, and I was watching through the show because I loved the show. I loved it so much when it was airing. I was so upset that. So the idea is that it's there's this guy named Frank Black who used to be a cop. I'm a little spotty on the details at this point in my life, but he's psychic and he can touch stuff at the crime scene and get like flashes of what happened, and this torments him. And he's played by Lance Henriksen, and he's got like just a fantastically craggy face with these really soulful, sad eyes.
And it aired on Fox, correct?
Yes, it was a spinoff. It eventually tied in with the X-Files. It was one of Chris Carter's. It was born out of the success of the X-Files.
Got it.
Terry O'Quinn was like his frenemy, Peter Watts, who was sort of his liaison with a larger group called the Millennium Group. And all of Frank's crimes had some sort of end of the world supernatural touch to them. And the Millennium Group was positioned sort of seemingly to maybe prevent the end of the world at the turn of the millennium. There's, of course, an occult conspiracy that's going on. Peter is either a good guy or a bad guy. There's a plague. There's factions within the Millennium Group. So I was really, really into the show so much when it was airing in the late 90s that my buddy Sean, when he was trying to get in touch with me, instead of calling me and putting his number in the pager, he would just put 2000, which was the way that, like, when Frank Black got the call from the Millennium Group that there was a case, you know, that's how they cut. Like,
That is fantastic.
So yeah, I like, hey, you want to go for a walk? Yeah, sure. But like, it was, yeah, wrapped in this, yeah. So back to MySpace. So when it was on, it was really sad because it when it first aired, because it got canceled before the millennium, which is just like, people were stupid back then. I mean, people are stupid now, but I feel like it was a great missed opportunity. And then the X-Files gave the show the opportunity to wrap up in a single episode that tied in directly with the X-Files at the time, and it sucked. It just didn't do anything justice. It was weak. So it's like one of these great unfinished TV stories.
And this is, mind you, pre, streaming. This is pre, like, people lining up in front of studios freaking out and doing online campaigns and trying to get the attention of anybody to get their show uncanceled.
Right.
It has worked in varying degrees over the last, I'd say, 5-10 years, where, like, Lucifer got moved to Netflix. The network might be like, fine, we'll give you a 2-hour wrap-up movie, just shut up and please let me get to my parking spot. It's definitely, I think, not worked as good, like, in the last, like, I don't know, several years, because Netflix now is certainly like, we don't care. You're gonna subscribe anyway. Here's more Stranger Things, folks. Like,
there was a period where it did work, and both of my favorite shows that are missing endings happened before that period. Carnival is the other one where I'm just like, God damn it, just one more season, you fuckers.
Oh, they really fucked us on that, man.
God.
Oh, shit.
To the point that, like, I can still watch and enjoy Millennium. I can't watch Carnival because it aggravates me too much, and the cliffhanger is so obvious and unresolved that I just can't. I don't enjoy the show anymore.
And mind you, when we're saying, like, it needs another season, like, you can get a lot done in 6 episodes. Like, no one is talking about give me a network 22, 23 episode full order. Just, you can get it done in 6 hours, bro. We believe in you.
My kid's been watching Murder, She Wrote with my mom.
Oh, fantastic. I love that so much.
But, like, I'm shocked at how long a series used to be. I mean, I know this, like, 24 episodes. Actually, I think it's 22 for Murder, She Wrote. But, like, over, like, 12 years, that's a lot of episodes. You don't need that many for, like a overarching narrative show. Anyway, we're digressing the heck out of this.
Real quick, though, just let him know that he can stop at the end of season 5. Like, and I've said this before on the show, the series does truly complete itself when she gets on the boat at the end. And like, and it's a perfectly fine place to stop watching. Did I keep watching? You know I did.
Yeah.
But that's when her contract was up. She was satisfied with it, and then she came back.
I've watched most of it, as it aired because, but I don't think I've ever watched the movies. I didn't know that the TV movies existed, so I'm actually a little excited to check them out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the same thing with Spencer for Hire. 3
Yeah.
seasons, and I want to say 3 TV movies afterwards, plus the Hawk spinoff.
Anyway, so getting back to, I watched it as it aired. It was disappointing, right? Then in like 2005 or whatever, they started issuing the box sets. I was watching them like with Sean because like if I still had a pager, we'd be texting each other 2000.
God, if I could only go back, I would.
And so I was on MySpace, and like they would do these like surveys. They were just like chain letter surveys, which was a bunch of like stupid questions. And like I had a lot of free time at the Daily News, and I would fill them out, and I had fun. They were just fun. I enjoyed them. It's a piece of social media that I genuinely enjoyed. It allowed me to be funny, which is extremely uncharacteristic, and I miss it. But at the time, I thought, well, if I enjoy doing these as me, maybe it would be funny if I did them as a fictional character like Frank Black from Millennium. So I created a Frank Black profile on MySpace. And I just played it straight and kept it in character. And then I eventually made a Peter Watts profile too. So I was running two fan accounts on MySpace. Frank got a fairly sizable following. I actually met people like in real life through that, like it's super weird, but just like a real strange artifact of a previous internet age. But just to illustrate how into Millennium I was, for at least a year, I would fill out MySpace surveys in the voice of Frank Black and Peter Watts from Millennium. Yeah, but you're not saying anything.
Go. I'm just. Jesus Christ.
It was a better world, man.
It was, and like the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, we have to go back. Like I get the whole like lost thing now, where it's like we have to go back to the island. It's like, fuck, I wish I could go back to the island. Like, a little sidebar here. If I could, like, honest to God, I would, have a cell phone. I would probably willingly go back to a Sidekick or a BlackBerry because I feel like everything was better when I had buttons.
Yo, my Palm Pilot was the best phone I've ever had.
Yeah. Oh my God. And obviously, like, I'm an Apple guy. I would not do that to my friends in the group chat by having them, have to get the green bubble, how it goes. But yeah, man, BlackBerry. And I would love to have a pager again, because there would be people I would give my phone number to, and then there were people who would get the pager number.
Yeah.
And the pager I would definitely be ignoring a lot, and then you'd have to graduate from the pager to the phone number.
Yeah.
Because
I love
why are you calling me
pager,
from payphones? Well, don't you have a cell phone? Battery's dead.
See, the thing with the pager is that it doesn't work as well if there isn't a system of payphones. So
exactly.
I miss a payphone. I miss being able to. I got to drive around and look for a payphone. I got to make a phone call.
Yeah, or you're just like, you know what? It'll keep till I get home.
Yeah,
like unless someone like pages you 911, you're like, all right, it'll keep. Like that's Go on though. I'm sorry. I'm digressing again. I had a girlfriend who was traveling basically back from home where she grew up and to Brooklyn, and called me on my cell phone when she got in, and I didn't get the call, and she was really pissed off at me about that. And it was because I was running D&D for you guys. So I finished the game, and I called her back, and she was like handed me my hand, and I was just like, man, that's not cool. Because this is a cell phone problem. You've become so like the immediacy of the cell phone. Like if this was 10 years ago, if this was 5 years ago, probably like you would have called and left a message, and I would have gotten back to you, and that would have been fine. It's not like I was required to pick anybody up or anything. It was just like hey, I'm home. Like, and it's just like, what? I'm a dog. I'm like
just gotta like snap to like that. Oh, basically the end of the relationship right there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that'll do it, man. And mind you, like that is like, I mean, like 12 years ago, so it wasn't like, no, it was more than 12 years ago now. Oh my God, you ran us a 12-year campaign. What year did you get married?
2015.
Holy shit. Okay, so like it probably was a very like, kind of an early cell phone problem where like you could still like there were pay phones and you could still be like, I don't need to fucking pick this thing up.
Yeah, no, it was not like the cell phone smartphone. I mean, I think it was a smartphone of some sort, but like early smartphones. It was just like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was now.
Yeah, we're constantly basically we all more or less you got a phone in your pocket, you got a GPS chip. I will just say this, everything is like 5 years ago to me. Like granted, like I try to think like, okay, everything's 10 years ago because I try to think like everything was 5 years ago or pre-pandemic, which was also in its own way 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But oh man, that campaign wrapped up 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it ran for 12.
This is my 10-year anniversary.
Aw, happy anniversary, buddy.
Thanks, bud. I got a couple months, but it could go off the rails.
Yeah, but at this point, I'll forget. So
Fair enough.
let it be on record now. I wished you a good one.
Yeah.
But go on back to.
So there's this game called Midnight of the Century that has come out or is coming out. And it's just the perfect distillation. It's like a love letter to me, the person who had a Frank Black RP account on MySpace. Like, who else but me would want this game? Hopefully, a lot of people, I think.
Or at least most of your followers from your Frank Black account.
This is true. If you were following me back then, this is a game for you. Again, it is very light. I think it has a Cairn root. I literally got this like yesterday, so I have not read it thoroughly. I have flipped through it and instantly fallen in love and was so enthusiastic and excited that I had to make the next podcast about it. And it's great. It's set right before the Millennium. It could be set 96 to 99. It can't be in 2000.
Nope.
There are no smartphones. You're trailing serial killers in a place where it's always raining. You work for something called the Ouroboros. The cover manages to look like I don't want this to sound insulting, but in like 1998, and Millennium is very much guilty of this in terms of the show's graphic design for their advertising. So like we're talking like 96, 97, when Photoshop was becoming a thing and digitally altered images were new, and everybody would kind of do everything to every image, but then they would always just sort of wind up looking red.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. 100%.
And it's just like there's all these superimpositions and stuff. I was guilty of it. I was also at the time. I also knew that it was ugly. It's an aesthetic that's very much of the time. This is in the vein of that without actually looking ugly. I think it actually looks pretty
Perfection.
handsome.
I mean, if you could nail that, I mean, because it's hard to nail that old aesthetic now. Like you could obviously I'm laying out a book right now and just filters and stuff and blah blah blah. You can get to make like a t-shirt looks like you bought it in the 70s and you're wearing it now. There are filters that can like give you that like kind of like pixelated, like you're taking it with an old camera, like a throwaway disposable camera. But it's very hard to hit that early Photoshop, early like pre-millennium where things just kind of went technologically leaps and bounds. Like it's hard to make things look shitty now. And I say shitty with the utmost respect and reverence.
In that specific way.
Yes.
Because like there was such like a technical, like a mechanical limitation to it when you were doing it back then. And the design language was really small. Now it's much more expansive. And it's just harder to like it's not like blown out for a silkscreen in the 70s, right? Like where everything like the punk rock aesthetic, like there's like that was a mechanical limitation, but it's like really easy to mimic. This is like a different sort of limitation. Anyway, there's little touches I think of Delta Green in here where you have your character has an important person that keeps them grounded and a place where they feel safe, a haven. And I expect that those have some sort of larger part to play in the downtime between games, which is not delineated in the primer. And one thing that I find, and I should point this out right away, is that this is not like Call of Cthulhu, where you could have like a ton of people playing in your Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign, dropping in and out. It's a much more intimate game. It's really feels like it's designed for one-on-one play, a game master and a single player. But the rules specifically state that you could have partners. And Frank had Peter Watts and Mulder had Scully, and the pairing works. But Kolchak was a lone wolf.
Lone wolf.
John Constantine always worked alone.
Well, I mean, because if he did work with someone, he ended up getting him killed. So technically, yes, he did always.
He was alone at the end of the story. That's what I'm saying.
Fair play.
Constantine also a touchstone for the design of the game, as well as Twin Peaks, Silence of the Lambs, Homicide: Life on the Street, Seven on the movie side. Clearly an influence. It's just it hangs together really well. It seems easy to pick up and play. The atmosphere, he really nails the atmosphere. It feels it's tapping into that pre-millennium tension that Millennium was like designed around, like this Y2K end of the century thing. There's a Doom tracker, which is sort of like a little clock that you use to as the story progresses. You could ratchet up tension as you hit different points in the Doom clock, which I think is a really great sort of mechanic that reflects the pace of this sort of television show, 1 hour, where it's just like, I made a breakthrough of the case, and then the phone call rings and Frank, there's another victim. It's like, like
that's great. Like that is one of my favorite kinds of mechanics. You got to keep it moving.
It's really well done. I can't wait to see the entire game. Basically, if you go to the itch and back it at, I believe, the proper level, Colin will send out the primer right away. So you can check it out. You can play through the initial scenario, which is called the Widening Gyre, which is both small but also expansive. You could easily, like, if your players are into it, like, there's a lot of ground to cover here, a bunch of different locations, people to talk to. You could lose yourself in the investigation for quite a while if you wanted, or you could probably pound through it in a couple hours. It seems like it's designed to respond to your needs and wants in terms of how elaborate you want to make it. There's no shortage of big group games, and since the pandemic, there has been an explosion in solo games, but we still don't have a ton of duet games, and this is a welcome addition, I think.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I like solo games, but I also find that solo games are a little difficult for me to continue to be engaged with after that first initial like excitement. Like I play even like Fabled Lands. I played that for a couple weeks and then I sort of drifted off. Like I have it there and I'll get into it again, but I don't
need someone to jam with.
Yeah, and like it's like a gym buddy. Like keeps you honest.
Some spot for you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to drop those diabolical end of the world dumbbells on you. That would hurt.
That sure would. Sure would. And, who can afford healthcare these days?
Right.
All right. So before we hit the go home in this, I have a few things I want to mention. One, obviously, if you haven't backed Days of Future Fairhaven yet, it's fully funded. Please jump in on that. We got about a week left when this episode airs, and I'm having a blast laying the thing out. It's something that I think is going to be so much fun for everyone to play. Cool adventure that is compatible with WHPA Fairhaven. If you're going to go to the movies, go see Superman. I am definitely not in any way affiliated with Warner Brothers. I'm definitely not in any way affiliated with anybody, but I will tell you I'm a lifelong Superman fan, and I saw it probably 3 days before everyone else did because of some kind of weird thing that popped up on Amazon Prime. I don't even know, but I got to see it last night and it was friggin' spectacular. It is exactly what you want it to be. The trailers did a miracle job of not giving away really anything that happens in the movie per se, and it is just a really good time. It'll make you feel real good watching it. It looks great. I saw it in IMAX 2D, which was pretty friggin' sweet, so I can't recommend going to see Superman in the theaters on the big screen enough. Finally, Stu, have you heard of the band Castle Rat?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love the fact that like I've known about Castle Rat for a couple years now, and I love the fact that Castle Rat all of a sudden is like on the tip of everyone's tongue. It's fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the algorithm overlords put it in a sponsored ad last night that I was just scrolling through my phone, placing ads for my thing, and I saw this woman with a sword singing, and then a wizard, and there was smoke, and it sounded kind of Black Sabbathy, and I was just like, well, this is an intersection of everything that I love. And so I checked it out and I listened to the album last night and I was like, wow. I was like, how do I live so far under a rock that I think they're like from Brooklyn?
They are. They're right across the river.
Like, how far do I live under a rock in a cave that I didn't hear about Castle Rat till now? So if you like heavy metal, if you like Black Sabbathy, doomy, riffy stuff, with an aesthetic that is firmly rooted in everything that we talk about on this show, go listen to Castle Rat. They got a new thing dropping probably around the time this episode airs. I will get out from under my rock and go see them when they're back in town because holy shit, Castle Rat.
I would be surprised if the singer was born earlier than the year 2000. And I think that she drives the aesthetic. The aesthetic is wonderfully 80s, like,
oh yeah,
it like just in that way that it's just like it's just so good. It isn't even nostalgic, it's just well done. And campy. It's very good.
Yeah, I mean there's like a poster, a t-shirt that I'm probably going to buy it's essentially her, but it's the cover of like heavy metal, but it says Castle Rat on it, and
Amazing.
I'm just thumbing through it, and like when you are on social media just flying by, but I'm like, wow, I was like, this song sounds awesome, and then I finally like looked down, I was like, wow, there's a chick with a sword, and now a wizard guy, and I was like, what is happening here? And I'm like, oh, maybe it's just like this video, because like sometimes that's how they get you, it's just that video, and I was like, oh no, I am wildly wrong about this. Castle Rat fucking rules.
Yep.
So that is and again, I'm not affiliated with anybody, but I'm a person who got like suckered by an Instagram ad, and boy howdy, for once am I glad I was. Castle Rat, go download it now, but pay for it if you can, because it's cool to support artists and no one makes money on streaming. This has been another amazing episode of the Vintage RPG Podcast. Stu, where can the people find you on the internets?
They can find me at vintagerpg.com. There will be posts on We Deal in Lead and several of the Rune Cairn books sometime soon. They're definitely this year. It's not a 2026 project. They are written. They'll be there, and it's cool. And
hey, man.
Colin's cool, and you should go back.
Kind of a flat circle.
It's buyodinsbeard.itch.io/midnight of the century. Back it so that I think that it's already in production for the hardcover, but it would be cool to have a little 90s soundtrack to go along with it, and whatever the secret one is.
Independent creators can always use more money, and it's not out of greed, it's out of necessity. So
yeah, man.
Support people when they make stuff.
We're just trying to live and do cool stuff.
That's it, man. We're just trying to make the world as livable as possible by putting out cool shit that you can enjoy with your friends.
Right on.
And have a good time with. You can find me across the internet at John McGuire RPG. I'm definitely live and on the internet because I definitely got super into Castle Rat last night. But I am posting about Days of Future Fairhaven. It's fully funded. About a week left when this episode airs. If you like Weird Heroes of Public Access, the RPG, if you like things like UHF, if you like things like, X-Men, if you like weird, like old 70s, 80s TV shows and teams of misfits that come together to try to save the town and the world, this is surely for you. Days of Future Fairhaven on backer kit now. If you want to find anything else, hamandeggpublishing.com. I actually built a website. I need to work on it more, but it's there and there's links. If you like the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Your reviews really do help other listeners to find us. If you really like the show, why not become a patron? Patreon.com/vintagerpg. We got a behind the scenes look at some stuff that we work on. We have early release episodes that come out sometime between Friday and Sunday, depending on how late in the week we record them. But you get them before the rest of the world for as little as $1 a month. At the $5 tier, I run a game every month. I got to figure out what I'm running for July. I had a lot of tragedy in the family over the month of June, so I kind of lost track of time. So I do apologize if you're like, what happened to the June game? a lot happened. But in July, I'm going to run something cool at the $10 tier. You get it in my game and Stu's legendary West Marches campaign. It is so deadly. We were actually talking about it before we took to air today. And, I'm sorry in advance, guys. This is Hambone in the future saying, yeah, that's tough, kid. Rub some dirt in it. Keep walking. We've also got a killer Discord community that we'd love for you to be a part of. Patreon.com/vintagerpg. So for Stu Horvath, I'm John Hambone McGuire. May the dice always roll in your favor. Thanks for listening. The Vintage RPG Podcast is a ham-fisted production. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Schaefer Brown. Edited by R. Alex Murray. Check us out at vintagerpg.com.